We've always tried to be a part and try to do our part, and I just can't. I'm glad I have a moment to tell you how proud I am to be able to watch you operate
Oh,
in office.
thank you.
It
Thank
means
you.
a lot. The closest people don't understand. The closest we've had to having an African American in that level was 30 plus years ago with Bill Lucas,
With yeah. Well, Lucas or our Secretary of State as well.
Secretary.
That's right.
Yeah, but still in the governor's office,
Yeah.
and you're doing well. So there's a couple of things we're gonna have about 10 minutes, and I just
Okay.
want to talk. If you, I want to introduce you and just give you an opportunity to say hello, and then I'm going to ask you how you felt about being called upon to help lead the state, especially during the time when we discovered the impact of COVID on our community. And
Sure.
then from there, we move to why it's so important for people to be involved and why we can't slack off at this moment. We got to rush to the polls. I'm not going to be partisan, but you have every right to be.
Hey, I'm a member of a party, so
Yeah.
it's all good. But Bishop,
So,
I appreciate those questions. Absolutely.
yeah, and I don't have any reservations about you going all the way with it. Okay,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got about 3 minutes left now.
Okay. No problem. No problem, Bishop.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just invite people to come in and chime in and connect and everything, and then I'll introduce you, and we'll do this part, and
Okay.
we'll do this to the next part of our service. Thanks for doing it.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Glad we can make it work.
Give my best to everybody in Lansing when we get finished with this. Okay.
I will. I will. I'm gonna let's see. I was last with the governor and we were together on Thursday. I believe she's doing well. And I'm honored today. I'm gonna be spending some time with our next vice president today. So
Okay.
yeah, no, it should
That's
be
right.
good.
That's right. That's gonna be good. Oh, Kamala is gonna be in the state.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was honored. We were together in Detroit together when she was here last time.
Mhm.
So it's an honor and privilege. She's going to be a fantastic vice president.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Feel comfortable saying whatever you feel like saying because
All
we
right.
have no limitations.
Thank you, Bishop. I appreciate that.
Okay. And I can't believe this is 19 years of me being a pastor, boy. This is crazy.
19.
19 years. It's our 19th anniversary today.
God
So
bless that. That's something. Why hey, uh, I don't. There's like literally nothing I've done for 19 years except be black. I mean, like
that's pretty good.
no,
Yeah,
that's an amazing. That just means you are an anchor institution in your own right.
that's I'm excited. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I guess we're here. Good morning, everybody. We're having a little bit of challenges here, internet wise, and I hope you're here. Hope everybody's gathering in. Hope everybody's connecting. Come on in, family. Catch up with us. Let me catch up with you. As a matter of fact, I've had to change devices, had to get to another device. Good morning from the World Outreach Campus. I'm excited this morning to have with me the first African American lieutenant governor that we've ever had in our state of Michigan. He's an incredible guy. I've worked with him on so many different things. Welcome, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist. How are you this morning?
I am blessed, Bishop. It's an honor and a privilege to be in your presence and the presence of the whole World Outreach Campus community and family. Thank you for having me this morning.
We took the opportunity to know because we know that you're busy and doing things, and this is a time that we can't afford to be silent. Lieutenant Governor, we watched you work with the governor as you work so hard to save lives in our state, and we're part of the group that's so thankful for it, especially because I watched you. It early on in the COVID situation, recognize the disparity, the impact that it had on our communities. Can you talk just a little bit about your experience leading the statewide task force and helping to turn that tide?
Certainly, Bishop. This is really important. You know, we recognize that there have been disparities in terms of negative outcomes with our health for generations. This is not a new thing. We know that there are certain types of conditions that are more present and prevalent in our communities. Like, all of us have family members who have high blood pressure or diabetes or heart conditions, or we may have those ourselves. And so when this pandemic came into the country, we knew that it inevitably would come to Michigan. And so before that even happened, we actually got to work, thanks to the leadership of this dynamic Black woman, Dr. Jonee Caldoun, who was our chief medical executive, to make sure that we could actually track in our public health infrastructure data on race and ethnicity so that we could understand the demographics of people who were getting infected and people who were passing away. And Michigan was really a leader in that regard. And so I really pressed to make sure that we presented that data publicly and transparently from the very beginning. And as a result, we were able to see, and the public could see from our data and information, that there is a differentiated impact.
Looks like we're still having some challenges here.
Black folks are 14% of the population, but we accounted for 41% of the people who passed away. And so we formed the task force on racial disparities. Governor Whitmer, with her leadership, signed that into law in April. And we were the first state and the only state that's taken such a full-throated approach to addressing racial disparities. And when we did that, We appointed a task force of 26 amazing people from Michigan, from all races and ethnicities, representing all areas of the state, and also representing things like, public health professionals and medical professionals and epidemiologists, faith leaders, labor leaders, education leaders, young parents, young professionals. Really just try to get a good cross section of our community, so that we could have a statewide response that was strong to it, reducing those disparities in the people who are dying every day. Because, look, over this pandemic, I've lost 23 people myself personally, members of my family, members of my friends I used to work with, old AAU basketball coach, the associate minister at pastor at the church I grew up in, real people. And so thankfully, because we have been able to focus on this as an issue in our state, unlike any other state, we've been the state that has made the most progress in reducing those disparities. Now, rather than making up almost half of the people who died, we make up less than 10% of the people who pass away in COVID-19. So thanks to that singular focus, thanks to the leadership of Gretchen Whitmer enabling me to be able to focus on this problem and save lives. And that has made our overall state response stronger.
That's excellent. Can you go forward from there and talk about why it's important for us to be actively engaged in the process that we're in right now, simply because of that kind of leadership?
I mean, this year, perhaps unlike any other year in our lifetimes, has shown us how critical it is that we have the right people in leadership positions. Like, who you have in elected office matters. And whether it's the president, who has been a deadly, disastrous failure on COVID-19, he has been a calamity on the economic failure as a result of his public health failure. You compare that to having a leader like Gretchen Whitmer and myself in office in Michigan, who are putting public health and people first, because we believe that people are the source of everything. Look, people are our economy. We can't have an economy if we don't have people who are healthy. And so we put those first. And so this election season, thanks to the voters of the state of Michigan 2 years ago, we've made it easier to register to vote and to cast a ballot than it ever has been before. And it's almost like the voters were predicting the future, knowing that we would need an easy and safe way to vote in 2020. And we have that. November 3rd is not just election day this year. November 3rd is the last day of the election. People can go to vote at their city or township clerk's office today, right now, and go cast a ballot. You can do that every day up to and including on November 3rd. So, Bishop, I would have to think that if a certain community, a certain campus, a certain World Outreach were to hear from a certain bishop that it was a good idea for you to participate in the political process and to step into your power and to help decide the direction of our communities, that those members of that congregation would follow suit. And I certainly want them to go and cast that ballot now, so you can spend the rest of your time between now and November 3rd convincing the people who you love and who love you and who you depend on and who depend on you and who you are connected to and who are connected to you to cast their ballots as well. And when they do so, they need to vote out Donald Trump. They need to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, two people who are compassionate, two people who are mindful of what the science shows us will keep us healthy and safe, and two people who care about our communities that have been left out in the past and will help us walk into a future, an equitable future together. We need to vote to make sure the Michigan Supreme Court reflects our values by sending Elizabeth Welch and Bridget Mary McCormack to the Supreme Court. We need to make sure United States Senator Gary Peters goes back to Washington to represent us for the next 6 years. And if we do all of those things, we have a chance to be able to come through this crisis together. And that's the only way we're going to get through it, is by coming together and not by the divisiveness and the negativity that we've gotten from the White House and from Republicans, certainly for the last 4 years, really for the last generation. While I think, and then the last thing I'll say is I want people to make a plan as well. So the best way to make sure you vote is to make a plan to do it. And so if you go to mi.gov/vote, there are all the resources you need to be able to make a plan, request a ballot, show you where to go to drop it off in person or to fill it out in person.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor. The time that you spent with us and the words that you have, and I'm just so hopeful that everybody pays close attention. I'm going to be doing everything I can to encourage everybody to participate, and let's make sure that we don't let this moment pass us by. Thank you again. Please let the governor know that we support you and her and all of the leadership in the state, and we're going to be moving on into our service. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you, Bishop. God bless everyone. Be safe.
God bless you. And now let's go to our service.